So there's still some minor tricks here, but why would we allow that? Why wouldn't we just...
It's snap time.
Chomp.
It's snap.
Yeah.
Chomp, chomp. Give us the
just so you
pawn.
don't have to calculate things.
Who has 14 seconds left? What's going on? 12 seconds for Grishchuk. And he just, did he take the pawn yet?
And he has taken the pawn. No.
Boy, and he fumbled in taking the pawn, too. That cost him like
Knight
2
takes
seconds.
h6. Oh, Knight takes h6 quickly by Magnus Carlsen.
Right.
But are there any tricks left in this position? Now with king c2, same variation. Same variation because there's a knight
King c2 is crushing, and it has been played.
So now king c2, knight takes f5, d3 check, king f2.
Or king f1, let's say, or king f3.
Okay.
Bishop c5 covers the squares.
The engine's giving mate in 29. Mate in 29. The game is completely over. Magnus is in big trouble, and all after he takes, it's just going to be a pawn racing down the board, and his knight unable to help, and he has resigned.
We have king c2 on the board.
King c2, and oh my, heartbroken Magnus Carlsen, as he thinks that he really let this escape. But in truth, he had a big ask. Sasha's probably not happy with his technique, but he got the job done. He won the game. That's all you could ever ask of a player.
Well, yes, it'll be certainly interesting to see what happened with that king d2 move and why it was so strong.
Wow.
Because it did look like a dominating endgame as soon as the rooks were traded.
Wow.
But perhaps some study-like ideas there.
He looks devastated. He just looks like he's hurting. You know, Magnus, the end games that he should draw, if he finds out that king d2 was a draw, he will be just beside himself. Remember that end game against Aronian that he didn't win? That was like a study-like win.
With the two pawns.
He was depressed at that point.
He was depressed about that. He's going to really feel it here. And Grishchuk coming back off the mat and showing that he's a force to be dealt with in this competition.
And Levon's BFF right now, because this gives Levon a much clearer path to his first Sinkfield Cup win. And of course, there's still tournament.
Two games to go. What more could Levon possibly ask for, right? Wow. Magnus Carlsen losing with white pieces in this.
Will have to win against Hikaru Nakamura tomorrow in order to try to bridge a little bit of the distance and keep himself back in the tournament. But this is extremely disappointing for our world champion.
What a huge result we have in this, the last game of the 7th round. Huge result.
Yeah, well, a number of huge results, right? The coupling of this result with Levon defeating Nakamura kind of unexpectedly, because not that Levon's not super strong, but, Nakamura was like playing with white pieces and on one of the more brilliant games of his career. Well, so we didn't expect Nakamura to be so down today.
Yeah, one of the crazy parts about Hikaru's matchup with Levon is that white has scored 28-6 in that particular matchup. So white has a big edge when those two players sit down to duke it out. And it was just a very, very strange game on Hikaru's side of the table. I just didn't recognize the player on the white pieces today. And here Magnus just overestimated his position for sure when he was a pawn up. He just didn't realize that he could ever be worse, and then suddenly he found himself in this ending where it was real hard to save it. Unfortunately for Grishchuk, he'll be critical of himself that he just didn't play king g4 and take the h5 pawn before trying to win the game with the d pawn. But what a dramatic
turn of events in round 7 of the Sinkfield Cup.
A black day. The two victories for the player with the black pieces.
I thought you meant like a dark day for Magnus Carlsen.
That too.
Another for Magnus Carlsen and Hikaru Nakamura.
But Magnus really.
Well, watching him,
you can feel
frustration here.
The tumultuous emotions that are going through him as he makes his exit.